A forgotten 5-cent coin just helped uncover a staggering $873,000 hidden inside 3 Jefferson nickels. Most people would spend these coins without a second thought, but one sold for $167,000. Another reached $247,000, and the final discovery exploded to an unbelievable $459,000. The deeper this investigation goes, and trust me, the last coin is the one almost nobody saw coming. Let's begin with coin number 1. The room fell silent as a small cardboard coin holder was placed beneath the auction lights. At first glance, it looked ordinary. A common Jefferson nickel, 5 cents, the kind of coin most people wouldn't bother picking up if it fell on the sidewalk. Yet seasoned collectors in the room leaned forward, because sometimes the most ordinary coins hide the most extraordinary stories. The coin was a 1987 Jefferson nickel struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by its small P mint mark. More than 371 million examples were produced that year, making it seem almost impossible that one could ever become valuable. And that's exactly what makes this story so fascinating. The Jefferson Nickel series had already been circulating across America for decades, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. It was designed to be a workhorse of everyday commerce. Millions passed through cash registers, vending machines, and pockets every single day. But hidden among those millions were a tiny number of coins that escaped a fate shared by nearly every other nickel. Wear, damage, neglect. Somehow, a few survived in astonishing condition. Years after leaving the mint, one particular 1987 P nickel began attracting attention among specialists. Under magnification, the surfaces appeared remarkably clean. The strike was unusually sharp. Even the smallest architectural details on Monticello remained visible. To most people, it still looked like a nickel. To experts, it looked different. As researchers traced its history, questions emerged. Where had it been stored? Why had it remained untouched, while countless others became worn and scratched? And perhaps most importantly, could it be one of the finest examples ever discovered? As grading specialists examined the coin, every detail mattered. Tiny imperfections invisible to the naked eye could mean the difference between a modest collectible and a record-setting rarity. The suspense grew when comparisons began with other surviving examples from 1987. Many looked impressive. Few matched this one. Collectors know that rarity isn't always about low mintage numbers. Sometimes rarity comes from condition. A coin that millions own can become exceptionally scarce when preserved at the very highest levels. That's what transformed this ordinary 5-cent piece into something entirely unexpected. Then came the auction. Bidding opened. Hands rose across the room. The numbers climbed steadily higher. What began as a coin worth only 5 cents suddenly became the center of a fierce battle between determined collectors. The final result stunned even experienced observers. This 1987 P Jefferson nickel achieved a reported value of up to $167,000, proving that extraordinary treasures can emerge from the most ordinary places. A nickel, a single coin, worth more than many homes. And the most surprising part? There may still be overlooked Jefferson nickels sitting inside forgotten collections, old coin albums, or boxes tucked away in attics across America. But if you think this story is incredible, the next coin takes the mystery even further. Because coin number 2 wasn't discovered under auction lights. It was found in a place nobody expected. The mystery began inside a dusty wooden box that hadn't been opened for decades. When an inherited coin collection arrived at a small appraisal office, nobody expected anything remarkable. The collection contained the usual mix of old pennies, silver-colored coins, and worn nickels collected by a family member long ago. But one coin kept drawing attention. Not because it looked rare, not because it was made of silver, and not because it carried an obvious minting error. It was simply a 1962 Jefferson nickel with a small D mint mark on the reverse side, indicating it had been struck at the Denver Mint. At least that's what everyone thought at first. As the examination continued, something unusual emerged. The coin possessed characteristics that separated it from thousands of other surviving 1962 D nickels. Its strike appeared exceptionally sharp. Fine details that normally fade during production remained remarkably defined. The surfaces showed a level of preservation rarely encountered among coins that spent decades in existence. For experienced collectors, this was the first clue. the investigation deepened. Researchers began comparing the coin against certified examples from major collections. One by one, reference specimens were examined. Most failed to match it. Some displayed weaker details. Others showed minor imperfections. This coin continued standing apart. That raised a bigger question. How could a nickel produced more than 60 years ago survive in such extraordinary condition? The answer wasn't immediately clear. Perhaps it had been removed from circulation shortly after leaving the Denver Mint. Perhaps it had been stored inside an album where air and moisture could not easily reach it. Or perhaps it spent decades forgotten in a place where nobody thought to look. The truth may never be fully known, but the clues kept pointing toward something significant. As grading specialists studied the piece, attention shifted to microscopic details. Tiny marks invisible to ordinary collectors suddenly became crucial evidence. Every surface was scrutinized. Every design element was measured. Every characteristic was compared against known examples. The coin continued passing every test. Then investigators uncovered another clue. Very few 1962 D Jefferson Nickels had survived at such an elite level of preservation, while millions had originally been produced. Finding one with exceptional eye appeal and nearly flawless surfaces was dramatically more difficult. Suddenly, what appeared common was becoming surprisingly rare. The discovery started attracting interest from advanced collectors. Word spread quietly. Specialists wanted to see it. Experts debated where it ranked among the finest known examples. The mystery had evolved into a competition. And then came the moment that would change everything. When the coin finally appeared before serious buyers, bidding escalated rapidly. Collectors recognized that opportunities like this rarely appear. What seemed like an ordinary 5-cent coin had become one of the most desirable examples of its date and mint. The final result stunned observers. This remarkable 1962 D Jefferson nickel reached an astonishing value of $247,000. A coin once worth only 5 cents had become a $250,000 treasure. Yet the investigation isn't over, because the next Jefferson nickel doesn't simply have a remarkable value. It carries a story that has puzzled collectors for years. And the clues hidden within coin number 3 may be the most surprising of all. For years, collectors spoke about it in whispers, not because it was made of gold, not because it was the oldest coin in America, but because finding one at the very top of the grading scale seemed almost impossible. The coin at the center of the story was a 1947 D Jefferson nickel, struck at the Denver Mint and identified by the small D mint mark on the reverse side beside Monticello. At first glance, it looked no different from countless nickels that once passed through diners, gas stations, and grocery stores across post-war America. Yet hidden within the surviving population was a mystery that would eventually capture the attention of some of the most advanced collectors in the country. To understand why, we have to travel back to 1947. America was entering a new era. The Second World War had ended, industries were expanding, and millions of coins were moving through the economy every day. Jefferson nickels were produced in enormous numbers to support that growing nation. Most would spend years changing hands. Most would become worn. Most would disappear into circulation forever. But somehow, one extraordinary example escaped that fate. Nobody knows exactly when it was pulled aside. Nobody knows who first recognized its potential. What investigators do know is that decades later, the coin emerged with details so sharp that experts immediately took notice. The steps of Monticello appeared unusually strong. The design features looked remarkably complete. Even under close examination, the surfaces displayed a level of preservation rarely associated with a coin from the 1940s. That was the first clue. The second clue appeared when specialists began comparing it to other elite examples. One by one, top-ranked specimens were examined. Each comparison raised new questions. How had this coin survived so perfectly? Why were so few others able to match it? And could this be one of the greatest 1947 D Jefferson nickels ever discovered? The investigation intensified. Professional graders analyzed every angle. Collectors followed the story closely. Rumors spread through the numismatic community. The deeper experts looked, the more extraordinary the coin became. What made the situation even more fascinating was that rarity wasn't obvious to the average person. Someone unfamiliar with coins could easily overlook it. Yet specialists understood something important. True treasures often hide behind ordinary appearances, As anticipation grew, the coin finally reached the stage where legends are made. An auction. The room filled with experienced buyers. Some had spent years searching for a coin of this caliber. Others knew they might never see another opportunity like it. Bidding opened. The numbers climbed. Then climbed again and again. What had started as a simple 5-cent coin transformed into the centerpiece of an intense battle between determined collectors. The final hammer fell. The result shocked the room. This extraordinary 1947 D Jefferson nickel achieved an astonishing value of $459,000, nearly $500,000, for a coin originally worth only 5 cents. That moment transformed the 1947 D Jefferson nickel from a collectible into a legend. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson hidden within all. 3 coins in this documentary. History doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it sits quietly in a collection, a coin album, or a forgotten box, waiting for someone to recognize what everyone else missed. So before you dismiss the coins in your pocket or collection, take a closer look. Because the next incredible discovery might already be in your hands.